Hi there, this is Kim Willis again, and I've got another tip in my 9 tips series for affiliate marketers. And this one is called Outsourcing for Profit, or the value of outsourcing. And this is tip number 5. All right, okay, let's just have a look at it here. Now, this is, of course, the video and/or audio version of the blog post that I created in 2014. Okay, not everybody wants to read text. That's why I offer my content in audio and video form. So you've got a home business and you're wanting to grow it. One way to do it is to leverage yourself through other people. Or to put it another way, you can do all the work yourself, or you can leverage your time by outsourcing some of the core functions of your business to others. Now, I go on to say in this article that I've been outsourcing for years. I think it's probably since, it'd be 2010, something like that. And I have a small team of people, most of them based in the Philippines, and they do various things for me that I either cannot do myself or choose not to do. So very technical things such as SEO related tasks, building of a website using code and all the rest of it. I can't do that, and I don't want to do it. I certainly don't want to learn how to do it. I have no interest in it. Much better to get them to do it for me. There are other tasks that I also outsource that I can do, and in some instances I do it very well, and I'm better at it than just about anybody that I could hire. But I've chosen to outsource at times some of those tasks because it saves me time. It saves me time, or it could be that I find the task boring. I can do it okay, I can do it well, but I just find it boring, and I've just decided as I become more mature as an online marketer that I should always adhere to the dictum, highest and best use of one's time. Highest and best use of one's time. So that's what I try and do. All right, so some of the tasks that I outsource include, as I said before, coding, anything to do with HTML code for websites and pages and things like that, membership sites, the creation of membership sites. I've got several of them on the go at the moment. I outsource all of that. Sometimes writing, I get that outsourced. You've got to be careful there, because you really want, if you're going to outsource the writing, you want to have somebody who can basically echo your voice. All right, and that's very hard to do. You need a first-class writer, but the content that I put on my blog, kimwillis.net, that's generally, it's all mine, because I've just decided that nobody can do that as good as me. They can't really reflect my personality, my values, my beliefs, my philosophy, etc. However, there have been other times when I've employed writers to create content for other blogs where it wasn't as important that the content be written by me. Okay, what other things have I done to what other outsource, or what other tasks have I had outsourced? Not translation, getting transcriptions. Say I record a video and I want to create a text version of that video. I'll use somebody to transcribe the video. That works really well. Sometimes where I've had a technical problem with my blog, couldn't fix it, don't know how to fix it, I'll employ a techie person to find the problem. Maybe it was a little bug in the system there, get them to chase it down and fix it. That has happened a couple of times in the last 12 months. I've hired people to phone leads for me. I've had mixed results with that. Generally, the results have not been good, but there were 1 or 2 instances where it did work reasonably well, and I actually made money out of it. What I have found with Filipinos, for instance, is that although you can find Filipinos who speak really good English. What they don't know are the peculiar cultural mores of your target audience. Filipino culture is a formal culture, whereas if I want a Filipino to phone Australians, for instance, who are more casual, more laid back, we're going to have a problem there unless I can educate the Filipino on how to make the shift. And in most instances, they can't make the shift. They're just not good enough. That's not to say that I wouldn't use a Filipino for maybe some customer service roles. That might be a little bit different. But when it comes to selling, where you've got to quickly create a relationship, trust over the phone, generally the Filipinos don't cut it. And I'm not just picking on the Filipinos. Same thing with Indians. Although actually, in some instances, a really good Indian phone person can be brilliant at cutting through and forming a relationship with somebody. Believe it or not, they can be really, really good at it. Outsourcing disasters. I started outsourcing, well, I said 4 years ago. Well, this was written in 2014. Yeah, that's right. About around 2010. I had a blog, not this one, and was looking for someone to write some articles for me, so I found a couple of people in the Philippines. Did it work? No. What I learned was that even though they could speak English, their writing style was too formal and wooden. For it to work, they needed to be an extension of me, which was something they were incapable of being. Lesson learnt. I also give a little story there about my experiences with using outsourced labour to phone my leads. Talk about that. Where outsourcing works, technical tasks. That's where it can work really well, although there are traps there. You've got to be careful. Make sure you get the right person, because particularly if it's technical and you don't know anything about the issues that your contractor is going to be facing, you don't understand HTML, for instance, and you're hiring somebody to do it, you're relying on them to really know what they're talking about. But the problem is, if you don't understand it yourself, how are you going to determine whether they really do know what they're talking about or whether they're just making it up as they go along? You've got to be careful. All right. Now, I use Odesk. I think once I may have used Elance, but Odesk is the one that I use, and I've found some really good contractors. Designers, there's another one, graphic designers. My graphic designer has been with me for years. I've got a person from the Philippines who also posts on Facebook and Google Plus for me, and she's been with me for years. So those sort of things can work really well. You get the right person, they're reliable, they've got a great work ethic, they'll work on weekends, they'll work evenings for you. Yeah, I think it's great. It's just you've got to be careful about who you hire. Look at their rankings. So, say for instance, with Odesk, they get ranked by employers for previous jobs. Okay, so I always look for people that are rated above 4 and preferably close to 5. So 4.5, 4.8, 4.9, or even 5. If they're ranked less than that, to me that's a red flag, and you've got to ask why. So you can look at some of the comments that employers have or contractors have made, companies have made about that particular person, and you can, if you do proceed to an interview, you can ask them about that. Another tip is to always have an interview with them. Do it on Skype. That's probably the best. And have some questions pre-written. Ask them those questions and don't take any bull. Well, just, you want straight answers. That said, it's important to respect your contractor. So when you actually have hired somebody, don't make outlandish demands on them. Treat them as human beings and don't have unrealistic expectations as to what they are going to be able to deliver to you. And the other thing is that you need to do is to clearly define the task at hand. sometimes, although they might speak English, they don't necessarily understand all the nuances of the English language that people like myself or you might have in place there. So you've got to really spell it out. So it's very clearly defined, no room for a misunderstanding. All right. Okay. But look, you've got a good person, treat them well, give them a bonus every now and again, do things like that. They'll love you for it. You know, they come from countries that are not rich countries, they're poor countries, and you know, it's very important that obviously they do a good job so they can get good reference from you, they can get good ratings from you, and but it's also important that you don't have an exploitative attitude about these people. You look after them, take care of them, and I'm sure everything will work out fine for you. Outsourcing for profit, that's it. This is Kim Willis. Bye for now. Don't forget. Go to my blog, kimwillis.net, KIMWILLIS.net, for other great articles on marketing and marketing related topics, internet marketing in particular. Kim Willis, bye for now.